There are literally no artists doing what I'm doing.
Listen, I went away and I left Jahseh, Dwayne, Ricardo, untold. And when I came back, I was learning about Xxxtentacion.
There was things that was left out that should have been in there.
Open your mind before you listen to this.
10-4, I need you to start me another deputy out here. We have a lot of, I guess these are fans in the party.
20-year-old rapper in Broward County. It appears two men were trying to rob him. CBS 4's Aurelia Ortega is working this story live in Deerfield Beach. Aurelia.
Rutabe, this is something that has really stunned fans of Xxxtentacion, a rising star here in South Florida. Fans began to gather here right after learning about the shooting that claimed his life. They just held a moment of silence, but they've been here listening to his music, praying and lighting candles in his memory.
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out?
If you want something so bad.
Hi, my name is Les. I'm sure you've read or seen the quote, shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land among the stars.
I'm so fucking tired, so.
Jahseh was born on January 23, 1998, to parents Dwayne and Cleopatra in Plantation General Hospital in Florida. Although Jahseh was healthy, the doctors would notice a problem with his heart, a defect known as a hole in the heart. And although it's common, it did mean Jahseh grew up being told not to play too rough and would only grow to be 5'6". He spent the first year of his life living with his dad and his dad's girlfriend Tashno Freeman, and Jahseh's half-sister Ariana. Ariana's mom would be the one to take care of Jahseh and Ariana for over a year, while his dad provided the income mainly from selling drugs, doing music performances, and odd work on the side. Dwayne always said his son was beautiful, and he always wanted attention as a child. He would cry until he would be picked up, and then he would go quiet. Ariana remembers this is how Jahseh was. It was like this for less than a year until some dramatic changes in the real path of Jahseh's life began. Sometime in 1998, Jahseh's dad had an affair with another woman, having a third child with a third mother. It was only a few months after this video was filmed that Tashno would have enough and call Cleopatra, Jahseh's biological mom.
Now his mother, Cleopatra Bernard, wasn't exactly fit to raise her boy, and he would bounce around to different homes, including time with his father's other girlfriends and his grandmother. While his relationship with his mom was described as mostly a positive one, X did reveal that there were times when she would mentally abuse him. On the other hand, she did often compliment him on his looks, and she dressed him up in Abercrombie & Fitch. Now he loved his mother to bits and pieces, and he always wanted her attention. Then when a man put his hands on her when he was 6 years old, well, he attacked the man biting him while holding a shard of glass.
When he needed attention most growing up in his adolescent life, Cleopatra often had different guys over and gave little to no attention to Jahseh for how much he needed. Although she took care of him the best she could, she was having internal problems of her own, with Dwayne leaving, being stressed with relationships, and taking care of Jahseh. He never blamed her. He loved her his whole life with deep respect and admiration. In elementary, his mom made sure money came first, and always took care of that for Jahseh. As long as he had clothes, food, and a place to stay, she thought she was providing the love and attention he needed.
Jahseh has had a long criminal record dating back to when he was only 14 years old. In late 2012, Jah was arrested for possession of 21 grams of marijuana, which was a felony in Florida law. He was sentenced to 1 month of juvenile detention and 6 months at a behavioral correction facility. Less than a month after his release, he was arrested again for breaking into a house to steal a laptop in order to create music. In 2014, he was sent to a youth detention center for a year on gun possession charges. According to Jah, during this time in detention, the district attorney was attempting to try him as an adult for gun possession, which would have a sentence of 5 to 10 years in prison. X was known for originating from the SoundCloud platform, being considered one of, if not the most popular artists in the genre known as SoundCloud rap. X used styles and techniques that were unconventional in rap, such as distortion and heavy guitar-backed instrumentals, drawing inspiration from third wave emo and grunge. He uploaded his first ever song to SoundCloud on June 17, 2013, titled News/Flock. In March of 2014, X would upload his first non-deleted song to SoundCloud called Vice City. Two key songs that would start gaining him success were Fuck in April of 2015, then I Love It When They Run in November 2015. The song that would gain X mainstream attention was Look At Me, which appeared on SoundCloud in December 2015, but wouldn't blow up until 10.
He will have a hard time just wiping the slate clean, moving forward with people who believe this from him.
This type of shit is gonna take you far. Keep following.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
It goes very far, and then just even with all odds of the mind. Don't get caught up in everything that's outside of your mind.
You yourself are a genius. You can be the cure to cancer. You can be the next new astronaut. You can be the next president. You can be, you can be the next big fucking actress, singer. You can be whatever the fuck you want to be. I honestly, honest to God, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate and love the fuck out of all of you.
Here's the situation. This is a man that has become famous and is using his enormous platform and celebrity status to publicly goad a woman that he brutally beat and kidnapped.
Y'all niggas mad? Y'all niggas mad I'm successful? Suck my dick!
I'm on New Times for stabbing. How many people they put in the news? They said 3. It was 8. Nobody cared about Jahseh until he took on the persona as XXX.
My name is Xxxtentacion. I'm a 19-year-old Broward County artist or rapper.
Hey, I like bitch who is your mess. Hey, can't keep my dick in my pants. Hey.
Very detailed allegations are now coming out against Xxxtentacion, the Florida rapper.
The 19-year-old emo rock star, whose real name is Jahseh, was charged in October 2016 with aggravated battery of a pregnant woman, domestic battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, and witness tampering.
If you can make that decision to just gloss over or look over these things that these artists are doing, what does that say about your morals?
Fucked up!
Super aggressive turn-up music, got famous off that, and then went in a totally different direction.
I had abandoned a lot of things that had made me the person I was. I had almost lost my reason. I saw myself going towards a direction that I wasn't supposed to go towards.
Like, he was so much more than an artist. He also did a lot of charity work that wasn't put in there. He, the pregnancy test, they did not include that at all. And this was a blood paperwork from the hospital to show that the young lady was never pregnant. And the film is supposed to be truthful all across the board. And I felt like, and he felt like that should have been something that they should have spoke more on.
I am tired as hell, but today I'm gonna be vlogging because I'm gonna be going to a foster home, and I'm gonna be donating a bunch of clothes, a bunch of PS4s, like shoes, just different things to the kids. I'm gonna donate like a bunch of stuff to them. So I was just gonna record it because I never really record any of the good things I do, and not only that, I really wanted to not only record it just to set some sort of positive energy in the air, but also to kind of influence other people to do it as well. I was actually gonna start a movement called The Helping Hand, where you guys like record you doing good things for people and kind of spread that positive energy. So I'm just gonna be vlogging it today in hopes that it'll make some people feel good. And I just really like doing good things for people. This is my first time ever doing this, so I never do this, but I hope you enjoy.
Okay guys, so I'm gonna be starting a challenge. It's called the Helping Hand Challenge. Long story short, I'll fly you out, spend the day with you. You know what I'm saying? Be a part of the vlog. It'll be a cool reward. But basically, to participate, the one that wins is the one who documents and helps the most, not only homeless, but the most people in need. It can be any form of person in need, even if it's like going to a shelter or just even feeding the homeless. Whoever does the most good, whoever I see does the most, documents it all, sends it to me, and then I'm able to see it, will win the challenge. It's called the Helping Hand Challenge. Hashtag the Helping Hand Challenge.
You ready to do something for the kids, boy?
Yeah.
Are you ready, boy?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Sounds like a porn interview.
Don't let the kids bombard him.
They're very, very excited. So I'm gonna have them all go down there, kind of have a pep talk. Our target population was the high school, the middle schoolers, but we're gonna have some elementary school kids in there. So we just
I brought them teddy bears and all types of stuff, composition notebooks, pens, boxers, shirts.
Yeah, it's okay.
Put this like this. Yeah, put those behind there. Let them see the PS4s. I want to ask I'm not gonna ask everybody, but it can be short. I want to ask what your dreams are. What's your dream? NBA. What's your dream? NBA? You want to be in the NBA? What's your dream? NBA. You want to be in the NBA? What's your dream? NBA? What's your dream? You don't know yet? NBA? What's your dream? Army? What? You want to? Is it? You want to go with Air Force?
You're around, but I fucking hate when you leave. Someone that's afraid to let go.
A surviving victim of the Parkland shooting, Anthony was shot 5 times shielding his classmates from oncoming bullets. X met him in the hospital and gave him a meaningful speech according to Anthony. All proceeds of the song Hope went to Anthony, as well as $30,000 from X's benefit concert shortly after the shooting. X had also met 17-year-old Jaqueen Oliver from Stoneman Douglas School, but he had unfortunately passed away in the shooting. X released the song Hope to motivate and uplift other kids, as he described the song on its SoundCloud description. On Instagram, he stated, "Although not all the words are relevant to the situation, I chose what I felt was relative and uplifting instead of graphic and real."
I'll be okay with getting some hate for doing something good. I'll be okay with this.
This ain't about if you're gonna be successful. You're going to be successful. It's about what you do after you're successful, because the world will be watching.
So let's not have today be about what we lost. Let's have it be about what we got the chance to live with. I don't think we should remember how he left us. I think we should remember all that he gave to us when he was here.
I get it. You can have your opinions, it's okay, but it's like that was someone that stuck with me and got me through something that I felt like, and this may not be true, but I felt like in the moment I would not have gotten through if it weren't for him. And he didn't even know. He hit. It's really weird to talk about because I don't think he was human, to be honest, and he didn't think he was human.
We're about the same age as you, man, and we would just want to say thank you for what you did in your short life. You touched me personally, like my heart, at a level I didn't understand myself until you passed away. And isn't that kind of sad? You don't know the impact other people have on you until they leave.
That's for sure.
Those are little moments of happiness that unify us. Yeah. He caused that.
Bro, I don't even know what to say right now. I just don't know what to say. I guess I'm just making this because the information, what I just heard, was that he's passed.
People that I don't even know, like, really realize that, and that carries a lot of weight. To bear everyone on my back, to take responsibility for the youth, that carries a lot of weight. So all I asked for in return was physical and mental loyalty.
Bro, he was saying, like, he got me. He was like telling me, he was letting me know that he's got me, and that he really wants me to succeed, and that he believes in me, and he as a person, he just likes how I am. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, bro, I appreciate you, bro. Like, you didn't even have to do any of that. Like, that's why I support you how I do, because it's more than just good music. You're an actual good person. Like, you're genuinely a good person.
I'm from like a really small town in Northern California with a bunch of fuck ups and nobody does shit over there. When everybody first started playing X, it was a bunch of fucking hood rats that were doing nothing. Everybody was drinking and smoking. They found something that made them feel better, you know. Made them feel like it's okay to scream. Made them feel like it's okay to be yourself, even if you're a shitbag. And he inspired everybody. He inspired everybody around me. And he created all this shit. He created all this shit. Like, there's like fucking like thousands of people here. That's fucking crazy. Like, for one person to do that, that's amazing. Like, the fact that this happened is tragic, but I moved out that shit and I'm out here because of that motherfucker, because I saw all the shit that he did. I want to do something with that with my life. Thank you. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
This quote that you said that X was a prophet.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I feel like God sends certain people down to like help other people. To like be there for them, help them get through something.
You ever had to live with the pride of your mother being a stripper when you was younger? No. You ever seen somebody try to kill your mom in front of you? You gotta go through
Wasn't the outcast kid because of this, but he had some friends, just different from other kids. He was either respected or feared. Everyone knew Jahseh didn't like bullies and he would stand up to them, even if it was for other people. He wasn't afraid to be himself. However, sometime in 2004-2005, when he was 6 or 7 years old, two significant events that shaped Jahseh's future for the worse would happen. Although Jahseh and his uncle were around each other often, it wasn't always a good thing. His uncle was known to suffer from depression and have outbursts. Sometimes during these outbursts, he would take it out on young Jahseh, and he would get physical with him. Jahseh being young, he didn't understand at the time why this was happening. One day while he was at school, his uncle would have an outburst, but this time nobody was around to witness it. Unfortunately, he would take it out on himself. When Jahseh came home, he was the first one to discover the tragedy of his uncle hanging from the balcony. This event would only feed Jahseh's anger and depression even more. Just months after this tragic event, one of the guys who sold drugs and was seeing his mother had been over the house. Him and Jahseh's mom had a heated argument, but this wasn't really uncommon in the household. Jahseh came out of his room when he heard dishes being broken in the kitchen. The argument quickly grew out of hand and the man got physical with Jahseh's mom. Jahseh claims the man would have killed his mom, but he interfered, ran, grabbed a piece of broken glass from the dishes, and jumped on top of the man, biting his flesh anywhere he could, as hard as he could, and cutting him and poking him with the glass. This was the first major outburst Jahseh had shown, and it was a tipping point. After this, Cleo tried to pay more attention to Jahseh to make sure he wouldn't behave like that again.
But what was she around? Was she around a lot of like drug dealing and crime? Or like why is she around motherfuckers that were beating her up and you gotta stab them?
She just, to put it in a simpler term, like my mom wasn't a prostitute or nothing, but like she just wasn't in a very stable environment. Raising a kid, honestly, was on her last priorities, you feel me? So what she did was she passed me from hand to hand to people that could take care of me, you know? And like doing that, like I was put in situations that weren't the best, but I get what she was doing, so I don't resent her. I would never resent my mom, but like my mom had it hard, I had it hard, and it's just very misunderstood. Like my relationship is still being. So how it started was literally like when I was a kid, like I said, I was batshit fucking crazy. I would just fight way too much. I had problems with my mom. My dad wasn't around. I was just lost, literally lost, numb. Like I just wasn't anywhere, you know. And usually, like growing up, kids always are like, "Oh, I want to be a firefighter. Or I want to be the president." Or I literally always was my answer. You can ask my mother. I never fucking knew. Like I had no clue.
So Jahseh was 10 when I got incarcerated. The last time I saw him was his 10th birthday party. 2 months later, I was incarcerated. And I was gone out of his life from he was 10 until 18 and a half.
I hated my dad because his previous decisions had affected me. And it affected me spiritually. Because my dad was in it, like I got locked up and was going to jail and shit. I ended up going through the same process. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as his upbringing was far different than me. Mine was not traditional. It was almost like being thrown into a void, you know?
Onfroy was neglected by his mother when he was young. He started committing crimes at a young age. He was emotionally reactive, angry, depressed, and unable to resist temptation. During his career, he was involved in a number of controversies, like public feuds with other musicians, the physical attacks on his fans, domestic violence, and other socially undesirable behavior. He was labeled rap's most controversial man.
There's a lot about my family that people do not know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that my mom has been through, my family's just like kind of spaced apart, you know? So it's a lot to mend in itself, but I understand that I have to be that middle ground. I am the gatekeeper.
Open your mind before you listen to this. It's something you can find comfort in. It's very comforting but discomforting at the same time. So with this project, again, you're entering my mind, feeling my insanity, feeling my genius, my energy. Enjoy.
Then dip me underway. You can feel my mouth flow. Hold me till I scream or breathe.
Desire to want to, like, you know, feed yourself with information and knowledge and search for all these different things. What birthed that?
I mean, to kind of explain what Bad Vibes Forever is, just as a whole, it's actually the opposite. I put Bad Vibes on my face because I want to deter anyone that basically has this preconceived notion. I don't like people that make preconceived notions about people. I don't like people that are very one-track minded, and when you see someone and you immediately judge them, those aren't the people I want to attract. I don't want to attract people that look at me and think I'm an idiot just due to how I look. I don't like people that are just kind of bland. So Bad Vibes Forever in itself is basically, it's like to deter all of the people that obviously won't be a part of the cult, that won't be a part of this following that we have, and that don't have the mind for that. So when you see Bad Vibes Forever, someone of a typical mind would probably look at it and be like, hey, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to be a part of that. I'm not with Bad Vibes. But if you look further in, you'll understand it's the exact opposite.
To get locked up at that point, it's like almost stopping
A reality
your progress.
check.
It's reality. So you felt it was a reality check.
Yeah,
Did
and
you
I was
think
only
that? Did you think that initially?
I was only in jail for 6 to 7 days. Initially, I questioned my entire life. I wanted to commit suicide. I started to question myself. But in question, life really starts with a question, wouldn't it? Doesn't life start with a question? Everything starts with a question. So I began to question myself. Anything that can cause you to question yourself is simply a reality check.
It's your job to speak for the inner animal that people don't want to let out in themselves. And that is what people get out of rappers in a lot of ways. They want to get in a fight with someone and shoot that person, so they listen to Cameron talk about doing exactly that.
I am the epitome of the misunderstood.
Right.
I am literally the people that aren't understood.
Right.
I just no other way to say that. Alone is the biggest concept for me. Literally, alone is literally my idolization. Because my thing is, whether people think they're alone, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're amongst 1,000 people, you are still alone. Because your lies are not known by these other people. Your sins are not known by these other people. Until you confess your sins amongst another man or upon your God or even the devil or even what you believe in, nobody will completely know you. So no one will ever know if you're being honest. No one will ever know what you want them to know. No one will ever know what you want them to know, how you feel, you know?
Right.
So have you ever got, all right, it's like when a female goes and speaks to her nigga and she's like, oh, and he asks what's wrong and she's like, oh, nothing, you know? And then he's just like, all right, well, I tried, you feel me? That's not the response you want.
Right.
That made you feel alone because you feel like this nigga don't care enough to hear what the fuck you talking about, you feel me? So then you get this feeling of being alone, even though you're in a relationship at that.
Right.
So my thing is, like, I've sinned so much, I've done so much, I've seen so much, and I know what others don't know about me or about this world at that. And it's being alone. I feel like I'm from the moon, bro. Real shit. Like when I was born, I wanted to die. Full. Like when I came, bro, it was weird to say. Like now I know it. That when I was born, I'm like, fuck, I'm back again. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt. I've always felt that way. Like fuck, I'm back again in this fucking like realm of slavery. Cause that's what this fucking is, bro. Like. Everything is slavery, no matter how we look at it. You just joined the system, bro. You just joined the system. From working from going to school, bro. Like, all right, we gonna start a program, right? We gonna start a program. I'm gonna really, your movement and my movement, we gonna really take that shit somewhere.
Yeah.
Start doing experiments. I'm gonna really dwell into politics and science, but like from the minute I was in school, bro, like, it's funny because I went from school to jail, you know what I'm saying? And there's no difference, bro. There's no fucking difference, bro. There's no difference. Because you're still a slave. You're still a slave and you're still not free. And you're still consuming your time. Because the minute you realize time is the most important thing, even though time don't exist, time is the most important thing, nothing else matters. As long as you got time, you're good.
Well, the system's not built to really grow that.
Exactly.
So that's why it's looked at as an outcast. Because even in my younger days, when what they call now as ADD and ADHD. To me, it was just, I was a class clown.
I was just hyper,
I
nigga.
couldn't focus. I was hyper.
They
you
were
know what I mean?
putting names on everything.
Right, but now we see that most of the people who were class clowns, hyperactive, ADHD, are the most talented people we have
And
on
they
this
have personalities. They want you to be a fucking robot. They want you to be a drone. They want, bro.
So all I asked for in return was physical and mental loyalty. That carries over. Like, people only perceive, cause I've been more playful and more comical and nice. You know what I'm saying? But understand that this is a huge. It just like it's a blessing. It is a burden. Because if I say the wrong thing, do understand that I have 1 million parents, teenagers, and kids responding negatively or positively, and all while doing these things, I have to be genuine. So the words have to be real. Because if I'm upset, I'm going to respond how I deem necessary when I'm upset. But it has to be real. You understand?
I'm very happy at how great my life currently is and how the future is being molded towards a better direction and a direction that I can appreciate. So I'm very, very grateful to all of you for helping me create this.
To future generations to come, know that this man was a legend.
I want to reach that self-enlightenment or that amount of power to where I can save the whole human race and move forward and show them that the wars and the fucking wars of the religion and the races and everything, and just the controversy and everything in the media. I'm not living to ideally impress anyone. I'm living, my whole goal throughout the human race, for that matter, is to watch everybody evolve. For the human race in itself, or the human mind to evolve, because that's the whole process from birth. From you're 1 year old, all you do is evolve. Your understanding and your grasp only evolves. You know what I'm saying? The more you know, the more you understand, is the more you're able to do. The more power you have. Knowledge is power. They don't want you to have knowledge at this point in time. That's why the New World Order is here. That's why they have all these fucking distractions to keep you from enlightening yourself. Self-enlightenment is the key.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job. Is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody's going to clean it up.